Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It should be about something, flying by the seat of its pants. As always, I'm Jim Libby.
And I'm Michael Smolik. And we are here to talk about something, and we hope it's going to be about something.
It is definitely going to be about something, but we would love to make sure that we are actually on and flying. So, if you're already there and in the chat, please let us know. We've got another new chat set up. Let's make sure it's happening. Hope it's working. We'll see. And in any case, tonight we are going to be bringing you It Should Be About Something in 3 parts. Our first part is not quite ready to do our first part.
Oh.
Because I wanted to talk to you about something before we even started the first part.
Let's talk about something.
I wanted to ask you about what's going on with the English Lovers Christmas show, Ready, Steady, Snow.
Well, we were really sad because we thought we'd have to cancel the whole thing. But we found a fantastic way, and we've had a lot of support from Drachengasse.
Yeah.
And we will be streaming a live studio English Lovers Christmas show with a shitload of cameras and tech by the seat of our pants from the 2nd of December onwards. Yay!
Look at all these people popping in. Thank you so much for letting us know that we are actually on, and we're super excited about the English Lovers show. Just a quick shout out to Sylvia and Donna and Pavlov's dog in the house, and the lovely and talented Christina. Hello. So the idea is that we're going to do Ready, Steady, Snow online, and we're going to create the show to be consumed online.
Yeah.
That's our challenge.
So we're going to have tickets available via Eventbrite.
Mm-hmm.
So just putting this out there, you're going to need an Eventbrite registration. You're going to have to go to Eventbrite and register.
But when you click on the link, it takes you to the page, and you just put in your info to buy your ticket.
We've all been through this a million times. I'm just saying, get used to the idea. You're going to have to sign up somewhere else. Waving at the screen again. Yeah, but you know, I'm looking at the screen the whole time and we're back to front. It's just confusing, you know?
But you know what's really weird?
Modern
And I
life
love-
is rubbish.
Okay. Verena, though, hey, Verena, you bring up a good point. I remember when I was a kid, my mom used to tell this story. When she was a little girl, she would watch the Howdy Doody show. Do you know the Howdy Doody show?
No.
It was an American TV show in the 50s, and the star of the show, Howdy Doody, was a puppet. Kind of like, I don't know, there are
character?
similarities to Toy Story,
Right.
to Woody. And as the type, Howdy Doody had, you know, a gingham shirt and the whole
It's a
thing.
character in... Continue.
Thank you. In any case, so my mom would watch the show all the time, and at the end of it, they would throw M&Ms at the screen for the kids to catch, as it were. And the memory that I have of this story is that my mom was watching, and that her grandmother got behind the TV and threw actual M&Ms, you know, like was hidden somewhere, maybe not behind the TV, but threw M&Ms, and my mom got them, and she was just freaked out because there is that thing, you know,
Yeah.
when you talk to the TV.
Teleporting
Don't go in that
TV in the
room.
50s.
Yeah. And so when Verena is waving at the screen to us, I totally get that. But now we actually will talk back. We will, you know, when you guys say hi, we're going to say hi to you.
And in
I
10
think
years,
that's
when
awesome.
we do our 10th anniversary streaming show, we will be throwing Smarties at you.
Yeah.
But they'll be coming out. They really will be. We'll be serving you drinks through the screen.
Yeah. By then, we're going to have sort of like matter manipulators so that we can actually do that. And
I'm going to be a 3D
generated.
generated image of myself. I'm
Yeah.
going to be holidaying somewhere.
Yeah, you're going to be your own avatar.
While my cousin Avatar is playing the show.
Love it. I love it. So the Christmas show is happening. It's called Ready, Steady, Snow. Keep an eye out here, also on Facebook, if you're a Facebook type. Also on our website, of course, at english-lovers.com. Because we would love to have people come and hang out with us. It'd be great. We're also going to have a chance because I forgot about this. This is actually a cool thing. Bronwyn Metz Pensinger of the English Lovers, she is immune gefährdet. How would you say it? What do they call that when you?
She's a risk group.
She's in a risk
group.
And so she wouldn't have been able to play with us even if we had played. So now she's going to be able to stay at home and still be part of the show. We're gonna
cam her into the show.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome.
I was going to try this. So for the second part of the introduction.
Oh shit! What's happening?
Well, do we want to go on to what our first thing is going to be? Or are we done with? Are we not done with Ready, Steady, Snow yet?
Oh, I think we're kind of done with Ready, Steady, Snow.
Good.
I just wanted to get that out there.
Yeah,
Because
no.
you've been working really
I
hard
wanted to make
on
a whole segment of that today. I think that. I mean,
we're in it. Let's
we're in
make
the
a segment. Make a segment.
No, I think we've
All
said
right,
everything.
Michael. Did we?
I'm
All right.
doubting. I'm doubting now. Maybe that was enough.
I think it was enough.
We did about 7 minutes on that.
Well, we'll call this the secret segment. So if anybody has a question about Ready, Steady, Snow, as we go along,
Right to Bronwyn.
type it in the chat, and we'll segue into that segment, and then segue back out of it.
What are you saying, Verena? It'd be awesome if we could hand drinks through the screen.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what she's saying.
That's what she's. Wave at the camera. Wave at the screen if that's what you meant.
Oh man.
Okay.
So this is us super close up and
And this is us not so close up.
oh god dang. Okay, good.
We go back to super close up. Okay, so Jim, do you want to tell us about what the next? Hey, somebody planted a dash cam on. What's going on here?
Where is that
We're being watched from somewhere. Jim.
Okay. Hi. So it should be about something. Brought to you in 3 parts. And now we're coming to part number 1. Tonight's part 1, dating. Michael.
Well, the reason I suggested dating was that one of my buddies on Facebook and in real life, Ludovico, posted something on his Facebook feed, and it was a meme about dating. And it said, dating. Meeting someone who is single and then finding out why. And that kind of resonated with me.
Okay.
And it got me thinking about my own experiences as dating. I thought, oh yeah, I might actually have a lot to say about that, or nothing at all. So we'll find out.
I hear you. Well,
So that's why I suggested dating.
well, let's get the ball rolling. Everyone out there, let's...
Parts and 15 cameras.
in 3 parts and 15 cameras. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Awesome. Oh, Pavlov's
Thanks
dog.
to the joys of tech, we're doing this with 2 cameras.
It's only 2 cameras.
It's only 2 cameras.
But we're getting so many
We're gonna do all this
shots.
shit, you know what?
Except for that weird dash cam. Where the
Yeah,
hell is that?
that I don't know. Somebody installed. They're watching you.
I would like everybody out there in the chat, just to get the ball rolling, I want you to tell us, when did you start dating? When did you start dating? Michael, can you remember when your first date was?
I think I'm too old for that.
Yeah.
You gave me the squeaky chair again.
All the chairs are squeaky.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It gives them character.
Well, actually, if you ask me when I started dating or how I dated, well, I'm actually going to say my answer to this is I've never really dated. Not in the sense of how Hollywood or TV shows in general kind of portray dating. It's
Okay.
always,
So
you're out there, you're playing the field, you're meeting people, you're kind of, it's nothing special, you're just kind of friends and you're spending time. That was never the case for me. I'd meet someone,
Right.
and if I liked him, I'd want to see him again,
Yeah.
and then I was fixated on that one person.
And then 3 weeks later, you moved in. You were like you were like a lesbian in New York.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm a lesbian in New
Yeah,
York.
yeah. You're either together or you're moved. You're either not
Swallow
together or
that
you're moved in.
feminist out of the world.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you think you never actually dated? You never actually went out a couple of times with somebody, you like them, but at the same time you had met somebody else, and you went out a couple of times with them.
Well, I challenged myself to actually do that.
Yeah.
When I was 39.
Okay.
I found myself single, but I was seeing someone, and I suggested to her that that we just see each other non-exclusively.
Right. That's dating then.
And I was kind of dating her. Well, there was the caveat that she insisted that if I'm going to see other women, she has to be the number one on the list. Like she takes preference over everybody else. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, but I guess that I was already seeing her.
I see.
But I didn't want to commit to a relationship. I didn't want to be in a relationship again because that had been my modus operandi for 25 years, right?
Yeah, yeah. You were a serial monogamist.
A serial monogamist, yeah.
Yeah.
So for almost a year, I dated basically her and a couple of other women.
Okay.
And I got to say, yeah, okay, I can get back into this.
Yeah, you can. No, sorry. I just want to interject only insofar that you were a serial monogamist. So does that mean that once you ended the one relationship, the next person you dated you got into a relationship with? Or was there like a few dates and you realized, no, this person's not for me, and then maybe the person after that was the next relationship?
So my wife is correcting me and saying I was 38 at the time.
Oh, I
Wave
see.
at the camera.
I see. So this is 4 or 5 years ago, right?
So my wife was actually one of the women I was dating back then.
Right.
But she was not the one
Who said I want to be?
She wanted,
I want to
the
be primary.
exclusive,
Yeah,
the primary.
But answer
one.
the question. So was it always relationship, breakup, next person was relationship, or was there a couple of going outs with somebody and then maybe the next person?
No, actually, no. It was only that one period when I was 38.
But you had relationships before that.
Long relationships, yeah.
But between those long relationships,
there was nothing.
There was nothing.
There was
So the
nothing.
next person that you hung out with
the one I
in any
shacked
way,
up
shape,
with.
was the one
Yeah.
you shacked up with. You really are. Like, did you go to Vassar?
I don't know what that is. What is never consciously dated as well? Yeah. So actually, it was not being in a relationship was always extremely trying and tedious because there was no sex.
That's what dating is for. Dude.
There's no sex. There's no hanging out. There was no anything,
so
right?
this explains it. So you would end a relationship, there would be no sex, and as soon as you got some, you were like, boom, I'm getting into bed with and to house with this person.
I gotta say, I've always been very particular about who I like. So it wasn't just anybody I'd start seeing or start dating or whatever.
But how did you find out that was the person you want? This is what I'm saying, is that you got out of the big, long relationship.
Yeah. I have really good instincts.
So you flirted with people and then decided, okay, I'm going to go out with you now. You go out with them, and then that's the next relationship.
I've got to say, most of the women I've had any kind of connection with has always been a kind of at first sight situation for both of us. It's like you meet someone and you both know there's something going on here.
Right.
And sometimes it takes a while till you find the time or the opportunity to connect.
Right.
But I've always kind of known when I meet someone there's something here.
Yeah, I hear you.
And this is one of the reasons why I might never have been particularly interested in dating, because I've found those date situations boring.
What's the date situation? You never went on one.
Well, okay, so the rare date situations that I've been in,
right,
would be I'd be sitting somewhere with someone thinking, I'm not interested in this person.
Okay.
I'm not sexually attracted to this person. I don't care about what they're talking about.
Right. I hear.
Why am I here?
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's just a shitty date then. Here's the question: one night stand?
Oh no, terrible. Oh God, no. One night stands. Can I remember a one? Yes, I can remember a couple of terrible one night stands. Anytime I've ever had a one night stand, I was smashed, absolutely off my nut.
Would you consider that dating?
No, I'd not consider that dating. I consider that collateral damage.
Well,
and one night stands always terrible sex with sometimes horrible people.
I suppose that's why it makes it the one night stand, because if the sex was really good, it would be at least a 2 or a 3, right?
Yeah, but there's a point, and I actually reached that point fairly soon, where I've had too much to drink and there's like no sex happening.
Oh yeah, well that's a whole nother that's another isbaz. Sylvia mentioned that she just had a date, her first date after 4 years. Rock and freaking roll, Sylvia. That's awesome.
That sounds like you've been single without seeing anybody for 4 years. I think that's what she's saying. Is that right?
Can't remember when I started dating, but I had a date last week after 4 years without any date.
Give you some credit. No,
I'll
give you a ton of credit for that.
I'm going to give you a ton of credit. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, and really, I absolutely know what that feels like. Like when I came to Vienna, it was 1991, and I think I had my first girlfriend in 1993 or something like that. And I was 21. So it was a really bad time to be single.
What were you doing the whole time?
Yeah, I always a tough time.
That was a tough time.
So, yeah, but the girl that I met, I was at this party. It was just somebody took me along to a party, and I met this girl. I was like,
hello.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah. All right. Well, now that we've got Michael's disjointed but entire sexual career.
Let's talk about yours.
No, I'd like to shift gears. I mean, I'm happy to tell you because I never dated until I was in my early 20s. I was a very late bloomer. I also didn't finish puberty until I was like 21. So it took a while for me.
I didn't finish puberty until I was 42.
Yeah, exactly. How do you finish
45.
puberty? How do you finish puberty, actually? I mean, that's always my joke because I was just this pubescent blob for a long time.
You mean how do you notice that you finished it?
Yeah. What was the milestone that said?
I think the milestone is when you can leave home thinking the way I look is fine and I just don't care about it. I think that's the milestone for leaving puberty. It's like I'm done with this.
You don't have to even look in the mirror.
I'm not even
you can
gonna
just
look.
get up and go.
I can just get up and go.
So for you, the end of puberty is the death of vanity.
No, when my skin cleared up. But I guess you could call it the end of vanity. So they kind of came at the same time.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I think I'm still vain. I just have better skin these days. It's much easier to be vain.
Well, maybe there's a correlation there because for me too, it was in my early 20s when I finally realized, drinking a gallon of milk a day probably isn't the best thing for my body. And when I stopped doing that and cut out eating sugar all the time,
right,
my skin cleared up suddenly. Oh, wow, that worked. Oh, I happened to lose 50 pounds. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I had really bad skin until late 30s at least.
Yeah.
I see photographs of myself in
Got a really good pickle coming in right now.
Yeah, I got one down here as well.
Yeah, they still come up,
That's never going to stop, I guess. But I see photographs of myself from 10, 15 years ago, and I think, oh my God, you look like you're 25. Look at what's going on in your face.
Yeah. Well, once I got out of puberty and started to date, I actually quite liked dating. I think I was a good dater. Yeah, Verena.
Men turn 7 and they just grow taller. You know what? I'm keeping that. I'm just going to say yes. I'm just going to say yes to that. And God damn it, I want a playroom and I want a workshop.
I want to have tools.
I need more gadgets.
And I need to bang my pots and pans.
I want a go-kart. I want a foot-driven go-kart.
That reminds
Not one with the pedals, one with the push things like this.
Verena's line reminds me of the line about children, where a buddy of mine said, having kids is just like having a dog that just slowly learns how to talk.
Because dogs are potty trained really soon.
Yeah. I mean, it takes longer, but it also learns to talk. So kids are cool. But I really enjoyed dating. I think I actually think I'm pretty good
because
at dating.
you're a people person more than I am? I didn't generally like people. It's kind of there's that.
Well, that's opening a can of
that
worms.
group of people that I like, and everybody else is just not part of the band.
I hear you. I mean, I tolerate people who aren't in the band perhaps better than you do, but I still have that sort of thing. But that's a different Isbaz. You were crazy on the write this shit down every week. Every week Michael writes to me like, well, what are our topics going to be? And then I'm like, well, I don't know. And then I pull some shit out of my ass, and then Michael's like, great. So here.
Yeah, but
stick this shit in your ass. These two Isbazes.
That's my role here. That's my role here. Just poke you till something good comes out. And then tell you to write that down.
Yeah, write that shit down. Write that shit down.
It's like,
that's how it goes.
Were you connected to the USB when you said that? Otherwise, I'm not interested.
Oh, by the way, are we recording this?
Yeah.
Oh, we never have to record it anymore because it just goes to YouTube.
That's true. I don't need to be taking up terabytes of space on my computer anymore.
I hear you. So I want to shift gears then.
Christina's saying, Jim, please continue.
I'm trying.
Was I interrupting him?
Yeah, he was every time. So what I'd like to shift gears to, and this is for everybody out there, and Christina, thank you. Because I quite like dating.
Yeah.
And I think I'm actually kind of good at it. So I want to hear from everybody, what was the best date you ever went on? Or one of the great dates? Or the date you always wanted to go on? What's a good date? Because dating, what we were talking about before, that has its own dynamic. You know, everybody has their own thing. I would suggest to everybody to go on a couple of dates. It's a wonderful way to meet people, to find out what they're about, and then you can walk away if you want to. But it's a great way to meet people. And if we just take our curiosity instead of our expectation, it doesn't have to lead to the next great romance. It can just be a nice night with somebody. And if I'm curious about them, then I'm going to have a good time. In any case, I'm just
Maybe
saying,
I was always too horny to have a good time.
Yeah. Oh,
that's a song right there. We should be doing a
song title Isbaz?
We should have a microphone and a musician in the background and start singing that
Can
song.
it sounds like a song. I guess I'm just too horny
I can go to this one.
to have a good time.
Too horny to have a good time.
Sounds like a kiss, like a lost kiss
I'm
B-side.
too horny, baby.
To have a good time. Too horny, baby. Or maybe Tom Jones. Too horny, baby. To have a good time. A good time. Christina coming with the big T. Honestly, my first date I ever had was with Michael, and it was amazing, and I felt in love immediately.
And that's kind of how I felt at that first date as well. But that was a very nice first date. I do remember.
I'm sorry, I think I
nice,
just got a cavity from all the sweetness. It is so beautiful. But it's also very true. The two of them are, it was the way to go. Yeah, it was a good decision that she made. So, best dates. What makes a good date? What was your favorite date? What were good dates? What would be a great date? And my question to you, Michael, because you never ask me questions, I'm going to ask you this question. What was the best date you ever went on? Or a great date?
Well, that first date that I went on with Christina was pretty amazing. Very.
Do you remember what it was? What did you do? How did you make it so that a woman like Christina Lass, that hottie poopalati, what date pulled her in so that she felt in love immediately?
Oh, I think we just drove into Klagenfurt and had some drinks, and I don't think we even ate. I think we just went drinking.
I bet you did. You know, they say food is the direct route to a man's heart.
Not back then. I was into booze.
Yeah.
I think I do remember. I called her up and I left her a message because she didn't answer the phone. And I said, "How about we go out for some cocktails tonight? Give me a call back." And then that's what we did. We went out and had cocktails, and we had quite a few cocktails.
Nice.
In quite a few bars. I think there were at least 3.
Well, see, that's an adventure. That's nice. You know, you move along. That's a good date. Bar hopping is a great date.
I mean, bar hopping is a great thing to do in general.
Absolutely. Right. It's a great night out, whether you're alone with somebody and call it a date, or with a bunch of people and call it a date. Yeah. You know, it's great.
Drinking is always good fun.
I had a great date. I'm going to give you one. Thanks for asking.
Well, let me ask you a question. So, Jim, what was a good date that you were on?
Okay.
What was your favorite date?
I'm not going to tell you. I don't have a favorite date. I've had so many great dates, but one that was pretty damn good. It was also one that started a great long relationship. I had met her. I had asked her if I could call her and ask her out.
Was this in the time of mobile
Yes.
phones?
It
Or
was.
it before? Yeah.
It
Okay.
was in the time of mobile phones. And a couple of days later, I called her up and I said, I'd like to take you out. And she said yes. And I said, okay, I'm going to pick you up from work. And she said, what are we doing? And I said, it's going to be a surprise. And okay, I'm sure the ladies out there are going to be... I was swinging for the benches here. I was swinging for the fences, all right? So what I did was I got myself a picnic basket and I filled it up with a whole bunch of really yumminess and some Prosecco and snacks and bread and cheese and yumminess. And also I bought her a bikini
On a first date.
and threw it in there because I was picking her up from work. And
You were going...
and had the whole thing packed, picked her up from work, and I took her to the Alta Donau where we got into an e-boat and went and had a picnic on the water.
That's nice.
And she got out of her work clothes and into the bikini, and I had towels and stuff, and it was pretty good. That was
Smooth.
That was pretty
Smooth.
smooth. That was pretty smooth. That was a good date.
Yeah, sounds like a good date.
Yeah. That one worked out pretty good.
Did you see her again?
Yeah. That date started a very long,
Okay.
long relationship.
What
How-
is that little smiley with the hearts on the eyes mean? The booze helps with the
with the beer goggles?
it's the beer goggles. Or those the beer
No,
goggles? Yeah.
with the falling in love. I think that's what that
Beer
emoticon
helps,
means.
yeah. Mhm.
But beer goggles are a thing, absolutely. See Michael's one night stand stories,
Yeah.
because I've never had a one night stand story like that. Never.
Are we done with dating? Just asking.
Well, we never.
Asking for a friend.
There wasn't a lot of famous or favorite dates out there, so that was a terrible question, but that's okay. I had some great dates. Before we finish dating, I want to hear about a terrible date. What was a terrible date? Did you ever have a really bad, just memorable, terrible date?
Yes. So in this dating period that I had when I was 38, one of the women I was seeing wasn't clear on the fact that we were dating. She thought I was seeing her exclusively. And then she was like, so we were talking about some date, let's go out and do something. And I was like, no, I'm not free on that evening. And she's like, what do you mean you're not free on that evening? I'm like, well, I'm doing something else. She's like, what are you doing? I'm going to the theatre. And she's like, well, you can take me. I'm like, I can't because I'm taking someone else. And we're in her car.
Oh, on a date, doing something
And
on that
we were,
evening.
We were after a date. She was
Yeah, yeah.
she was driving me home. We're in her car and we're driving, and she slams on anchors, and she's livid. And I'm like, well, what made you think that there was? Did I? And she was like, "Whoa!" And she threw me out of the car.
Oh no.
I think she didn't speak to me for 2 weeks, and then I saw her again, and we kind of cleared that up. And she spoke to some of her friends, and her friends were like, "What's she so worried about? You know, don't worry about it. He's seeing somebody else, so just enjoy it." But by that time, I was kind of freaked out because she got so crazy about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that kind of peanut. But that was a terrible. That was at least the last 15 minutes of that date were scary. Oh, the scary just reminded me. I was on a date with a woman once, and she got so drunk, and we went back to her place, and she was very, very, very drunk, and she was throwing up.
Oh no.
But she wanted me to make love to her.
Oh no.
And I was like, ugh.
Oh no.
I think at some point she threw up in the bed. And I was like, no, this isn't going to happen. But she locked the door to her apartment and wouldn't let me out. And at some point, she went to the kitchen and found a bread knife. She was threatening me with a bread knife.
Because you won't sleep with her?
Well, because she was disappointed about the way the date went. I've got to say,
she was super drunk.
She was
okay, so it doesn't matter.
very
Yeah.
drunk.
She was doing whatever.
We spoke again after that, and she was like, "Oh my God, I don't even remember what I think I had a bread knife in my hand at some point. Didn't mean that, but it was scary.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. I want to check out Sylvia because she's. This is not the best thing for the chat. Maybe I'm going to try to do this so that we can see if that helps. Maybe make it not so big. That's not going to help anything. But anyway, Sylvia, best date with my date to a. Went with my date to a concert of Five Achtel in Ehren. Got pretty drunk and kissed all night under the moonlit sky. What a lovely night. Oh, that's awesome. Love it. That's a great date.
That actually reminds me of something that I'm going to count as a date. I went to a concert. It was Paper Moon. Anybody remember Paper Moon? They were a band who were around in Austria in the 90s. And they played live at the Donauinsel Festival, and I went on my own, and I met this really cute girl there. I had a great time, watched the concert, and then I kind of walked her home after that, and it rained. We were both soaking wet, and I was like, oh, something's going to happen here. And then we got to her place, and she was like, okay, bye. And that was it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I've had dates like that, where you meet somebody and it's all good, and then it's fine.
Yeah, I thought there was something happening, and it was like, nope.
Oh yeah. Oh well. That's.
Tell me the poem.
There
was a poem.
I built my career on that. So wait a second.
There's a Paper Moon poem. I don't know about a Paper Moon poem. I'm sorry, Sylvia. I do remember that the singer from Paper Moon was interviewed on Ö3, and she pronounced Sinead O'Connor Sinead.
Sinead.
I was like, what? What the fuck are you talking about?
Sinead.
But they were actually a nice band. I like some of the stuff that they did.
Donna, it's so boring. I almost fell asleep in the movie theater. That
was just a bad movie, Donna.
Yeah, but the date apparently wasn't making it any better. Martina. Hey, Martina. Hello.
But aren't movies...
Worst date. One guy told me for about an hour that he gives me an orgasm guarantee on the first. Oh God.
Right.
Oh wow.
Right.
Yo, don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Can you imagine spending an hour trying to convince somebody?
What a great orgasm they're gonna get.
Yo, baby. Yo, baby. Yo,
what if
baby.
You fail?
Yo, baby. Yo. I am so good in bed. Yo. I'm the best lover you've ever seen. I bet.
So I'm gonna change cams here.
I bet.
So I'm done with this guy.
No. Tell me a poem was their most popular song, Cecil.
Oh, right. I think I should go back and listen to Paper Moon because I don't even remember what the most popular song was.
Verena dropping some tea there. Best dates are always the last ones, meaning they start a relationship. Or end one.
or I was going to say that, yeah, or end one. But then that makes them the best date as well because you want out of the relationship anyway.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't make them the best one.
Yeah.
Your neighbors are watching us on some dash cam.
I bet they. What is happening now? Where is that camera coming from? And why do they have our logo?
But I want to go to what Donna's saying because for me, going to the movies is actually a bad date because I'm somebody who doesn't like talking when the movie's on.
Right.
And I don't like people talking when the movie's on.
Right.
I don't like this kerfuffling and smooching and stuff when the movie's on.
Right.
I want to watch the movie.
Right. Although I've got a great date. I had a date. I was in love with this woman. She lived not too far from me at the time, and she lived on. Her address was a poem. She lived on the corner of winter and spring, and she was tall. She was athletic. She was whip smart, and she looked like Elle Macpherson. Do you remember Elle?
Isn't she called Ellie Macpherson?
Elle the Body Macpherson.
Yeah, she was hot.
And then she left. She left the city that we were living in and went away for a year to Spain, and then came back after a year rang my bell. I answered the door, and I didn't even recognize her right away. She had cut her long blonde hair to this sort of short, shaggy, dyed brown thing. She had dark sunglasses on. You know, she was completely Eurified at this point.
Yeah.
And
she met somebody called Julio, and he changed her life, you know.
And she was like, "Hey, it's me." And
what was her name? Just the first name.
Nope, names are staying out of this. And then I was super excited to see her, and we decided to go to this really great little art house movie place, and they were playing the movie Like Water for Chocolate. The beautiful, magical realism movie Like Water for Chocolate. I'm blanking on the director's name right now. Maybe somebody out there in the chat will remember it. It's a beautiful movie. It is a gorgeous movie. And we sat in this little tiny theater, maybe 10 people in the whole place. We'd smuggled a bottle of wine inside and sat really close to each other. And while the movie was playing, it was in Spanish with subtitles, she would whisper alternative translations to what was happening on the screen in my ear. It was a very exciting evening. We never got together.
Yeah.
But we have remained friends ever since. And that was already back in the 90s. And so if this person happens to be watching, I love you. And I hope I see you again very soon. Yeah, she was awesome. It still is. I agree. Gorgeous movie. Yes! Like Water for Chocolate. Amazing. Somebody find out. Oh, Andrew's not here. Our ground control. He's probably working very hard to keep the internet safe for everybody. But Alfonso Arau. Exactly. Thank you, Pavlov's dog. Bringing it in. Yeah. Nice.
I think we need to start giving out medals to so Pavlov, you get a gold star.
Yeah,
Pavlov gets a gold star on today's show.
We're gonna have to get some graphics going and send people stuff.
So it can go boing up on the screen like that.
No, that's that Twitch thing that we got out of. But that does remind us, we do have a tip jar. And if anybody would like to support what we're doing in any way, shape, or form, meaning sending us some money on PayPal, you can use that tip jar.
It's in the description of our channel. Yeah, you can go to the description down below, and it's there. And you can
Did you
money
really do
in
the
that.
thing?
I
Did
did
you
that.
do the thing
did
down
that.
below?
Right.
I'm not even sure if it is down below.
First, I'm going to point at the people.
Yeah.
Right. Point at the people. Say you.
Yeah.
It's down below.
Like today, I made a video for Facebook today, and I was like, yeah, click the link below, and then I realized, oh no, the link is going to be above me.
The link was above you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've noticed that.
Yeah. Thanks.
When I liked the video.
Look at Donna, also Alfonso Rao. Everybody knows about Like Water for Chocolate. You need to put this movie on the list. You're going to love it.
Okay.
It's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous movie.
You know what I miss is little art house movie theaters that you can go to and watch weird movies like that. They don't exist the way that they used to anymore.
The art house movies?
Yeah.
Well,
art house movie houses where you see stuff that was like 20 years old, or just, things that just come round again.
Well, Vienna has that. I mean, the Admiral Kino did that. They would have these sort of
alternative.
alternative.
It doesn't do it that much these days.
The one down by the Volkstheater, Top Kino, often Votive Kino, and these are places that will just play things in original. Hey. Don't come at me with that. Don't be busting on my
I was going to say the
bean.
only place in Vienna that really does that is Film Casino in Margareten.
As well.
Yeah.
Film Casino is also one. All right, Michael, I think it's time for you to play a little bit of Baelish's music. You can't. I think I can.
I can't.
I'm going to play some of Baelish's
to
music, and in 30 seconds, everybody tell us if this is too loud. Because I'm calling it on dating. We need to move on.
Yeah, we've definitely done. We just way too much dating. Nobody does this much dating.
Do not see the link. How do you click on the link? How do you click? Donna wants to click on the thing that we mentioned that we never
see the
mentioned,
link.
and now she can't even click on it. Typical.
Okay, let me see if I can find it.
Don't even.
I'll kill the internet probably if I do.
Yeah. You know what? I wouldn't even. This thing is held together by bubble gum and spit and just our goodwill. I think it's just our our will to make sure that we can continue to get to talk to people at any time we can. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
Yeah, Donna, I'm not gonna.
If Donna wants to hit the tip jar,
Something happened now. Look at that.
we'll put it in the comments.
Oh no, this is me.
We'll put a thing in the comments.
So there should be a link to PayPal underneath this video, in the description underneath this video.
So Baelish's music played through, and nobody said, "Oh my God, that was too loud." Maybe
It's
nobody
still
heard
playing.
it. No,
It's not?
no,
Okay.
it's all over. Maybe nobody even heard it. In any case, we're moving on. Part 2, ladies and gentlemen, of It Should Be About Something. Friends and neighbors, join us now, because we're going to be talking about the unexplained.
Yes.
Originally, I had thought we should maybe talk about ghosts. Just because, it's the time. I mean, I know it should have been Halloween, but for some reason, ghosts popped into my mind. And then I thought we'd just make it to the general unexplained.
Yeah.
So, Sylvia, backing up Donna. Love it. You have to go pick. Nice. It's an email address. Yeah, we'll figure out a way to make that more clear for people. But thank you, Sylvia and Verena, for backing it up. So that's what we're talking about, Michael.
The unexplained.
The unexplained.
Oh, right. The unexplained.
Yes. Strange phenomena. Have you ever, Michael, had an experience with the other side? Have you ever seen a ghost? Or perhaps encountered some ephemeral
I'm the most
being
skeptical person I
from
know.
the other side of the veil?
When I was 7 years old, I decided that all of that shit doesn't exist.
When you were
I
7.
remember the day that I decided this is all crap.
And that's why you have no romance in your body. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This could be true.
7 years old.
I was going to a Catholic convent, and we had to go to church like 3 times a day, three times a week or something like that.
Yeah.
And
That's funny. I did not know that. Did you know that when I was a kid, I was also brought up Catholic and went to church all the time?
I was not brought up Catholic. It was the best school in the town that I was living in.
I see, but you were trained in Catholicism.
No.
Oh,
It
you
was
just
a
went to
Catholic convent,
I see.
but anybody could go to it. It
I
was
see.
a private school.
Right.
So anybody could go to the school,
Okay.
but you had to kind of, while you were there, adhere to the Catholic stuff.
Yeah, and to adhere
But I
to it,
was
you had
not-
to learn how it all worked. So
We did none of the...
you had no catechism.
No, none of that stuff.
I see.
Thank
Okay,
God.
so you had no religious training while
that
you were
would-
there.
that would really, then I would have not have been there as long as I was. I was there for 2 years, I think.
Right. Right.
I was 7 years old, and we're going to church, and so we go to this church, and I'm kneeling, and the nun comes by. I have a bad thing with nuns. Most of the nuns I've met, like, not the brightest sparks, the sharpest tools in the shed, brightest candles on the cake. Ooh, I can get into stories about that, but I'm not going to go there.
Okay.
So anyway, so I'm there and I'm kneeling, and she comes to me and she says, "Are you praying?" I'm like, "No." "Well, you should be praying." "Okay." So I say to her, "What should I be praying?"
Right.
And she says, "Well, do you know anybody who's dead?" I'm like, "No." "Well, you must know somebody who's..." "Well, okay, my grandfather was dead, but I don't remember meeting him."
Right.
And she says, "Yeah, well, pray for him."
Right.
Okay, so I kind of meditated on this grandfather that I didn't really know for what felt like an eternity, and then I was allowed to go back to class. And there was this, it was cold, I was kneeling, I had better things to do, I was an avid reader when I was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't care for the whole thing. I had to be quiet, I was told not to move. There was obviously nobody there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you decided
So I was like, fuck this shit.
the supernatural
Does
does
not
not
exist.
exist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, And then about 2 years later, I got into a fight with my mom because I spoiled Christmas. I apparently spoiled Christmas for some other dumb kids who hadn't figured out yet that Father Christmas was just some uncle dressed in a Father Christmas suit, right?
Oh, you were that kid in the neighborhood. Okay.
So we're at this stupid Christmas party, and there's these stupid kids like don't recognize that it's just Uncle Ben or Uncle James or Uncle whoever in a Santa Claus suit, and they're like, "Oh, Santa Claus is coming!" I'm like, "What? That's just him in a what? What are you? How stupid are you?" My mother's like, takes me. You ruined Christmas for those kids, and I was like, "What? How? I was just explaining the obvious to them."
The last 2 years, I have had the chance to be Father Christmas, to be Uncle James in the costume for my my lady friends' next door neighbors.
I'm not dissing the whole thing or the experience at all.
I know. I'm just telling you something very sweet about my life because you never ask. And I think it's really sweet that I had the chance to do that. And the kid is just on the cusp of being where you were, where he's like, I could say, but there's something weird about having a dude come in with this heavy American accent, because I do it in German. You know, and I'm like,
because Santa Claus is American.
You know,
he comes from the North Pole.
And so
like
all of a sudden,
Alaska.
Even though he knows he's just old enough, you know, he knows he's got. And the sweetest thing is, because of their tradition, the mom gives me this whole list of like 3 things that he did great that year and a couple of things that he did bad that year. And so all of a sudden, this weirdo dude, Uncle James, who's in the costume, but he doesn't want to say anything because he doesn't really know me either.
Yeah.
So he's weirded out. Everybody else in the family, and they're all sitting around. The mom, the dad, the grandma, the grandfather, the uncles, they're all sitting there. And I come in, and then the kid is like, because I say,
how old is the kid?
He's like maybe 9 or 10. He's like, you can see it in his eyes. He knows it's not real, but he gives me this respect because mom gives me this stuff where I know shit that he thinks, hey, there's no way I should know that. And so
but I think it's also that realm where you're still in the game, but you've figured out the game kind of thing.
Out the game, but
it's
you
kind
want
of fun
keep
to
playing
keep playing in the game.
Keep playing the game, exactly. And I think that is the best way of saying how I feel about ghosts and the supernatural.
You're still in the ghost puberty.
No. I know about the game. I don't believe in the game, but I like playing the game sometimes.
Okay.
I was also similar to you. I wasn't quite as young. I was a little bit older. I was a teenager, and I was heavy into Catholicism.
Yeah.
I was raised Catholic, and I was part of the youth group and all that stuff. And we went around to a.
My wife's calling me a Grinch.
Yeah, you are a Grinch. Exactly. In any case, I went to this weekend retreat. And I had a best friend. I had 2 best friends in this place, and one of them, her name was Jennifer. And I remember we were sitting in this very dark, dank, air heavily laden, too hot, and we were all talking about something, about the catechism or whatever. And then all of a sudden, Jennifer started shaking, and she started saying, "He's here. The Spirit is here. Jesus is here. God is here." And I was freaked out. Later, I realized that she had been put into a trance because of the heat and the repetition, and it's what all cults do, and it's a lot of, well, that's another. It's
a lot of wanting it to happen as well.
Yes, and then I remember getting so angry. I was so angry at the leader. For allowing this little girl to get herself into such a state, and they enjoyed it. And I realized at that moment, I was like, no, this is bullshit. She's just hot and sweaty and needs a glass of water. We've been doing this for 12 hours, and it was over for me.
Yeah.
At the same time, I love the supernatural. I love the stories. I love the unexplained. I love the fact that there can be something out there that we can't, with science, quite explain. I don't believe in a lot of it, but I love the fact that we can't quite explain it yet. And so the poetry that has to fill the gap between experience and explanation is, for me, the supernatural. And I love that, and I will play that game anytime.
What I do enjoy is the magical story. So inventing magical ideas about how things could be, but as fiction. But
Okay.
as obvious fiction.
Okay, but history is filled with this. So, for example, in Boothby, Maine, which is a tiny town along the coast up in the north of Maine, there is a graveyard. And in that graveyard, there is a great big marble podest, no, not a podest, what do they call, a pillar kind of thing, a grave marker for a captain, a sea captain. He was also, I believe, the mayor of the town. I can't remember. Somebody might have to check this out. But this guy, he was married, he had a family, he had an affair with a woman. And then he was responsible for charging her for being a witch. And I think, and I'm missing the details, I'm sorry, it may have been the last or the only witch burning in Maine. It was in the mid-1600s during that time.
Mm-hmm.
And on the pyre, she said, because it was her innocence the entire time, and later they figured out it was definitely this dude just getting rid of her. She cursed him and said that her mark would be on him and for eternity. And on this great big marble pillar of a gravestone, underneath his grandly engraved name, the image of a lady's slipper, a stocking, with foot and stocking, appeared about 6 months after his death and the erection of this pillar. And many people back in that time said, it's obvious, the curse, this is the curse. And they tried to get rid of it with acid, and they tried to get rid of it with sandblasting, and it would always reappear.
But what is the slipper telling us?
It's her mark, she said.
Her mark is a slipper?
Yeah. You have no poetry in your soul, Michael. God damn it, why are we friends?
What? How's the mark the slipper? Okay.
Colonel Buck! Donna Libby coming up with the Colonel Buck. That was the dude's name.
Yeah.
And thank you, Sylvia. Yes, he's great. And we love him too. Even if he has no romance or magic in his soul anymore. Because the nuns took it away from him when he was 7.
Why is it a stocking? Why is it that?
Look, when you curse somebody for eternity, you can show up in any form you want. But this poor woman who was burned to death on a fucking pyre said, it's gonna be my slipper. Now,
okay.
do you think I really believe this shit? No, of course not. There's cracks in the marble and the whatever. But it's unexplained. Why does it keep coming back? And it's such a great story. It's such a great story.
Yeah.
Or, for example, I have friends...
Sylvia, are you saying I have no soul at all? I curse you.
I have friends back in the day who lived in an old one-room schoolhouse that they had converted.
We've spoken about them before.
Have we? Okay, so Dana and Jennifer,
But
they lived
listening to loud music.
Oh, that was yeah, it was with those friends, but we had built the theater in this old Grange Hall. But they lived in a house. This whole family was crazy. This is going to be a quick little side story. So Dana's mom had this hobby. She would find old buildings, buy them, and then transport them, often over hundreds of kilometers, to the patch of land where the family lived, and then set them up. So they lived in this big old house, and then she found this old one-room schoolhouse in a tiny town, bought it for $10, put it up off of its foundation onto a trailer, and then had it shipped to their land and set it up on the top of a hill. And then they renovated and converted it into a place for Dana, her son, and his wife to live. She did the same thing with a couple of old cabins that she set out. There was one where this crazy woman
It was obviously
lived.
cheaper than building it yourself.
Yeah, but it would often cost thousands and thousands of dollars to move the things. So, for example, Dana then, years later, he and his wife Jennifer, they bought an old 3-story Victorian mansion for $10. It was meant to be raised, and then
Transported it for $500,000.
cut it in half and had to transport it to their land. It now sits in the middle of the woods in this gorgeous spot, and Jennifer has made these gardens that are, it's just unbelievable.
They own a lot of land.
Yeah, the family had pieces of land here and there. They're doing well for themselves. But Jennifer and Dana, they always struggled, and they were artists, just trying to get shit done, and have done amazing work for 30 odd years in Maine. And in the house, they could do whatever they wanted. So there was an actual pole from the 3rd story.
A fireman's pole?
Yeah, behind
nice.
behind the fireplace that went all the way down to the cellar. In any case, this old one-room schoolhouse that they lived in, we would spend lots of nights there working on shows and having fun and playing music. And Jennifer would always say that she would see a small tow-headed boy run through the room, the big grand space, which was the one-room schoolhouse, to the back that used to be like the bathrooms and stuff, but were then renovated into small rooms and closets. And the kid would run by, and she would only ever see him in the reflection of the windows when it was dark outside, but all the lights inside were on. The house had these huge old Victorian windows. And I always poo-pooed that shit. Until one night. And I was alone in the house, and I had turned all the lights on. I think I had gotten there early. We were going to meet everybody there at the house, and we had a show, and I had left early, and we got there. We were going to have our after-show party. I turned on all the lights, and I swear, hand on the Bible, hand to God, I heard like a little giggle. And when I looked out of the corner of my eye, I saw what looked like a tow-headed boy running from one end of the room to the other.
Wow.
I do not believe in ghosts, but I cannot explain that, except for maybe lots of...
Well, you said you think you saw a tow-headed boy.
I will believe... I tell you to this day.
I mean, it had already been planted in your head.
Exactly.
Boy.
So maybe there's a lot of that happening. There was also a lot of drugs happening, but maybe there was a lot... No, I'm kidding about the drugs. In any case, I'm saying I love it when unexplained things happen, not because I believe in it, but because I just like the poetry.
Yeah, sure. Poetry's great.
So what I want to hear is, what's Donna? Donna had one run-in with the ghost. Oh, the ghost during... Okay, so that, yeah. I was relieved to realize it was the ghost and not the goat shaking the cups of juice for intermission. Okay, so Donna's my mom, and she's talking about during that time I was in a production of Pippin that we were doing in the Grange Hall, and the Grange Hall also had a ghost.
Of course it did.
I never saw that ghost, never believed in that ghost. I never really believed in the schoolhouse ghost, but I did see it. But the Grange House ghost I never saw.
Yeah.
But apparently my mom
An
did.
unexplained phenomenon.
Yes, unexplained phenomenon. Probably the new ground was an old Indian burial site. I don't want to be buried.
So if you take the house that was built on the old Indian burial site and then you move it somewhere else.
Don't want to live my life again.
Maybe do the ghosts go with the house, or do the ghosts stay with the burial ground the house was built on?
Well, according to the lore, a ghost will always be attached to an object or something. So, and that's something else that I love about it. Like all those stories, all the mythology around ghosts or vampires or gremlins or kobolds or leprechauns, all of those unexplained things, it's all mythology. And when Max Brooks was writing his wonderful book, World War Z, which
Yeah.
was turned into a terrible movie. Well, the movie was okay, but it had nothing to do with the book
Yeah.
with Brad Pitt. His father, Mel Brooks, had a discussion with him, and Max was like, "Well, I'm talking about the zombies and stuff," and Mel Brooks apparently was like, "Are these things real?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "Well, then write whatever the hell you want. You just add to the mythology."
If you're making it up, then just make it up.
Just
make all of it up.
It's all made up. Just make up more of it.
Who cares? You don't have to. It doesn't have to work. And I think he's right about that.
Yeah.
Aliens can always land.
Aliens can always land.
If you're making shit up, just make it up properly. Just go the whole hog.
Verena grew up with a magician uncle, so lots of unexplained things here, but a totally different thing.
Oh man, I've had bad experiences. Oh, I was that kid as well.
You had bad experience with magicians? I had so many wonderful experiences with magicians.
Sitting in the audience going, I can see exactly how he's doing this. Why is everybody applauding?
Because it's awesome what he's doing.
It's not even entertaining. I can see what he's so bad at what he's doing. Ugh. Sorry, I was the Grinch, obviously, as a kid.
Okay.
It would seem.
Have you ever experienced a close-up magician doing sleight of hand right in front of your eyes?
Yes.
Isn't that amazing?
I've seen people who are really good at that.
Yeah, and it's amazing.
I've lost money on that.
And it's amazing, and you know that it's a trick.
Sure, I know it's a trick.
But
Obviously,
you love it.
as long as I can't see that it's a trick, it's great. I'm talking about being the kid in the audience,
I hear you.
seeing how bad the show is.
Yeah, Michael just had a bad childhood.
There was no Father Christmas, there was no magic, then there was no dating, it was puberty till he was 42.
How is it that you even made it this far, Smolek?
Life started when I met my wife.
Well, Verena's uncle was a really good magician. And yeah, I mean, I think great magicians are wonderful. Or things like, you're sitting in a cafe and suddenly you get the feeling that somebody is staring at you. Maybe it's, and you turn and you look and somebody is looking at you. What is that? That's an unexplained phenomenon.
It's like
Some
what I
people say
get.
it's a sixth sense.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
I bet you do.
That I think
Somebody's looking at you.
No. I get it with emails and I get it with phone calls.
That somebody's going to call.
That I think I need to talk to Jim Dennis about that.
Right.
And the next thing that happens is the phone rings, and it's about that.
Right.
That happens to me all the time. But that's about.
I hear you. Well, the thing
first
about,
of all, it's the coincidence of them calling you at the time you think about it, but they're thinking about it as well because there are issues that need to be sorted out. It's not like I think of somebody I haven't spoken to in 30 years and then the phone rings.
Yeah. And that and those coincidences are wonderful and also have a bit of confirmation bias by them. I mean, I think we learned that from improvising that coincidence happens all the time, and if you just roll with it, it looks like magic.
Because we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
At the same time, yeah.
So, Sylvia, yes, isn't that just the energy that you feel? And for years, this is what I would be talking about. Like, it's a weird sixth sense that people can't explain. However, scientists now have a theory about this. And I love it because it's so subtle that to even know the theory will not stop the experience. So, you're sitting in the cafe and you have the feeling that somebody's looking at you. What scientists are saying right now is that humans, as we've grown up to be Herdentiere, which is, how do we say that in English?
Yeah,
I've learned about
maybe
this.
there's not an English word for Herdentiere.
I've learned about this in
Herdentiere.
German, and so I think about it in German. So because we have evolved to rely on groups so much, our
Herd animals,
because we're herd animals, our eye contact and eye lines are very, very important. and we pick up on those hundreds of times in a minute.
So like most of the time you don't even notice that you're doing it. It's subconscious, yeah.
Right, that's right. But we're all very aware. And you'll notice that when you go to the subway and you're on the subway and you kind of meet eyes with somebody and then you look away and then maybe you see somebody has been looking at somebody else and they notice that you were looking at them. Okay.
And if you go back and analyze where you were looking,
Now
you can
hold on,
see
let me
that
just tell my damn story, Smolik. So scientists believe, you can't ask me a question, but you can answer every one. In any case.
More of this next week.
Scientists believe that the feeling that you're getting is in fact a subconscious realization that other people are seeing that person looking at you, and you're calculating their eye lines to know that you have somebody behind you. And a lot of athletes, so top athletes, you'll say about them they have an eye for the field. They always know where the ball is.
Yeah.
Or great improvisers. Sometimes you'll watch a show and somebody is doing something behind somebody else. There's no way they could know what was going on behind them. But you have this sixth sense. And it's something that you can totally accrue and live on. And I think it's really cool.
It is.
Yeah.
Very clever. Very interesting.
What about imaginary friends? Imagination or ghosts? Hold on a second. The folks here are talking about all kinds of, and then when somebody looks at you when you receive something. Yeah, exactly. So we talked about a lady creeped out by Deja Vu. Oh, Deja Vu. I'm super into Deja Vu. I had Deja Vu when I was a kid all the time. Do you ever have Deja Vu?
I have Deja Vu quite regularly, actually.
Oh, yeah. Now, is your Deja Vu in the moment you realize, oh, I've thought about this? Because my Deja Vu, I would often have dreams, and after a while I realized this is a dream that will come true. And then I would recognize the dream that I had already had. I was conscious, I had dreamt that the night before, and then 2 days later, the thing from my dream starts happening.
Yes, that's kind of what I have.
And then
similar to
I
that.
started fucking with it. I started doing something different than had happened in my dream. And after doing that for a while, the dream stopped for a while.
My segments are never long enough for me to actually interact with them.
Ooh, okay. I'm lately getting creeped out because the situation during Deja Vu is during tremas. What?
Doing what?
Wait. I'm getting creeped out by Deja Vu because I think the first time I'll experience these situations during Deja Vu is during tremas. I don't
Dreams.
know. Dreams. Oh, dreams. Yeah. Group animals. Group animals instead of Herdentiere.
Herd animals.
Yeah, herd animals. What about imaginary friends and imaginary ghosts? Okay, so Deja Vu is super crazy, and now scientists are also thinking about Deja Vu, and their theory about Deja Vu now is a momentary lapse in oxygen because of the lag that we have from our senses into the thing, and then you're basically seeing the shit again. And so you think you put it
like
into
that
your
image, you've seen the image, it gets subconsciously stuck in your head, and then you see it consciously again, and you've got those two images overlapping each other. Yeah.
Right. What about imaginary friends, imaginary or ghost? Did you ever have an imaginary friend, Michael, when you were a child?
Yep.
Could not afford one of those either because Michael's childhood was terrible. I had an imaginary friend when I was a kid. I have more memories of my mom telling me about this imaginary friend than I actually have of the imaginary friend. But my imaginary friend, and Mom, please correct me if I'm wrong, my imaginary friend's name was George Michael. But it was before George Michael was a thing. Was it George Michael? Or was it Stephen Michael? Or was it Michael Stephen? It was a double first name, I remember. But I think it was George Michael. I don't know. But you never had an imaginary
George was a very uncommon name in the 80s.
Yeah.
Michael was a very common name. And what was the other very common name in the 80s?
I don't know. There's a great website I saw recently where they do this thing where you see the top name in the United States per state per year. and you see these waves of like
It's like
in the
washes going
50s.
from the east to the west.
Well, yeah, well, like in the 50s, you've got Mary and James and Mary and James and then Elizabeth, and then you see like Ashley comes up, and then it's like the whole country is Ashley, or the whole country is Jennifer.
Shania.
The whole country is Whitney. The whole country is Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Kevin.
Kevin was a big one. Yeah. So
Johnny Michael.
unexplained phenomenon.
Donna's saying Johnny Michael.
Johnny Michael was my imaginary.
Which might have just been the most popular boys' names when you were a kid.
Probably.
I was never in a class as a kid where there was not at least one other Michael. Never.
And interestingly, I don't think I've been in a class where there was other Jims. I've always been a singular
I think
Jim.
you're the only Jim I know.
Which is really, because like Jim in
Or
the
James.
50s, Jim,
Yeah.
that
Quite
was
common, yeah.
super common. But my generation isn't really that
Yeah.
common. Although in improv scenes in America, it gets used all the time. Everyone calls everybody Jimmy.
Yeah, but that has
Cultural connotations.
cultural
yeah.
connotations. Yeah. An imaginary horse.
My
Don't
mom
have
had an
an
imaginary
imaginary
horse. Ah, who else had an imaginary friend? I want to hear
An
about your
imaginary animal
imaginary
friend.
friend. An imaginary horse.
I
Any other-
never had imaginary friends.
You never had
No,
imaginary friends?
No, I had very close relationships with pets.
Yeah.
The pets had very imaginative names,
Okay.
and they were very close friends and play friends.
You were always grounded in reality,
Maybe. Yeah.
in the nuts and bolts of life. You had pets. You had to feed them.
Yeah, had to groom them.
So, any more unexplained phenomenon for you?
Now I think we can move on to topic number 3.
Well, you know what?
So James, what is topic number 3?
Well, topic number 3 tonight, ladies and gentlemen, here on It Should Be About Something, and I'm going to play a little bit of music.
Music!
I don't know if the music actually worked before. Somebody can maybe let us know in the chat. Topic number 3 was supposed to be about our favorite life hacks.
Oh yeah.
Your favorite life hacks and my favorite life hacks and everyone's favorite life hacks out there in the world. But
I was going to give this some thought,
you were going to give this some thought and you never did.
and I didn't get around to it.
And we've already been going for an hour.
A long time.
And 15 minutes. Are we going to go into extra time?
Let's go in.
Okay.
Let's see what this life hack thing.
Good.
actually
Then,
has.
ladies and gentlemen, It Should Be About Something, part number 3. It's all about life hacks. Now, the internet is filled with life hacks.
We got a life hack right here. If you want a horse, get an imaginary one because there's a lot less work than a real one. That's a life hack.
That is a
Verena,
total life
Donna,
hack.
you should get 2. Just get 2 imaginary horses.
I've already got I've got a pod of imaginary whales that live in my bathroom.
Awesome. Favorite live acts. You know, that's a whole new conversation,
live acts.
and we should get into that. Oh, that's a
Put
good
this one down for Isbaz.
That's a
What
good
were the
one.
other 2 that we were supposed to...
Well, you were
Michael-
supposed to remember.
No, you were supposed to remember. I totally put that on your plate, and you're going to finish it, young man. If anybody can remember the things that Michael was
We got a
supposed to
tip.
remember,
Thank you,
please
Donna.
let us know. In any case, life hacks. What I mean by life hacks is, what are the things that you do to get through life? The internet is full of life hacks, like, just cut off the top of this milk jug and now it's
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's, a
My
thing to lay down in.
fucking YouTube internet life hacks is I'm going to take all this poisonous plastic and melt it into another piece of poisonous plastic and make some piece of shit and make... no. The only life hack for all that poisonous plastic you have, you throw it in the garbage. Take it to the
Garbage.
the poisonous garbage dispensary. Put it there. Don't make other shit out of it. It's not a life hack. It's not a life hack if it kills other people down the line.
Okay, here's a life hack. Here's a life hack for you. If you're going somewhere where you need to get into somewhere, but you don't necessarily aren't allowed to go there, but you need to get in there. If anybody ever says, "Kann ich Ihnen helfen? Can I help you?" Just look at them and with the happiest, healthiest voice, just say, "No thanks," and keep going. They will stand flummox and will not bother you. Life hack. Total life hack. Got a life hack?
I got a life hack. When you're going somewhere,
Yes.
for instance, you're driving somewhere in a car
Yes.
and you don't know exactly how to get there.
Yes.
And your map is maybe not correct, or the information that you've got on how to get there is not
Yes.
really correct.
By the
and
way,
the person you're driving with
Yes.
says, let's ask someone.
Yes.
Life hack,
Yes.
stop and ask someone. Because first of all, it's going to get you there quicker.
Yes.
It's going to stop the person in the car nagging you about asking someone.
Yes.
It's going to make your life, in general, a whole lot more enjoyable.
I agree wholeheartedly. Asking for directions is one of the greatest things to do. But, life hack, if that person looks at you and goes, walk away, because they will say all the polite things, and then at the end of it, they will not have told you any information.
So, Pavlov, I'm going to define a life hack for you. A life hack is something that you learn through experience, I guess,
Or from the internet,
or from the internet,
or from Michael.
of choices to make in situations that will help you not make the same mistakes again, or make the same mistakes that other people in your situation have made. That's a life hack.
Yeah. Something that helps you get ahead in life. Something that will help you shorten the dreary drudgery of life. Pour the juice out of the opposite side of where the cap is. Yes. If you've got I think you're talking about the Tetra Pak.
The Tetra Paks, yeah.
Yeah. You've got those boxes. And you take it off, and the circle's on this side, and the other end of the block is on this side. Don't pour it like this. Pour it like that.
Yeah. That's a really good life hack.
Life hack. What else you got, Michael? Got any good life hacks? I just like saying.
I was going to think about this.
Life hack.
I was going to think about that. I do actually have a few.
I've got a good one for you.
Yeah.
Never play cards with a man whose first name is a city.
Or his
Life
second
hack.
name is a city. Cincinnati Kid. No, that's a city.
And it's his first name.
And it's his first name.
Yeah, so thanks, Michael.
Yeah, sure. But you've never played cards with anybody who has a city as a first or second name.
Okay? Never trust anybody whose last name is a first name.
Never do an online streaming show with somebody who comes up with ridiculous shit in the middle of the show. That's a life hack for you there, right there.
Life hacks. Okay.
Always have wine in the fridge.
Life hack.
That is a fucking life hack. Yes. Like, never run out of booze completely. That's a life hack.
Here's a good life hack. You ready for this one?
Yeah, please, hit me.
All right. When you are in a relationship, I would suggest as a good life hack to try to keep dating within the relationship. Go out and do fun stuff.
Yeah, it's a good.
There used
good
to be
one.
a bit of a matrix of go on a date every 2 weeks, every 2 months, go for a weekend, and every 2 years, go for a longer vacation.
Okay, so here's the life hack. Underneath that one, make a lot of money so you can afford to do all these things.
Well, luckily in Corona, you can do all these things right in the privacy of your own home. And if we can extend what we've been talking about today, you could even have an imaginary harem and go on dates with all of them.
I'm going to take a swim with my imaginary whale pod.
Never listen to your workout self when going grocery shopping. And never go grocery shopping when you're hungry. Exactly. Life hacks.
Yeah, the amount of Leberkäse, Semmeln that I've bought when I've been shopping hungry. Ooh.
Here's one I learned not too long ago. When you're driving your car and you look at your gas tank, there's going to be on the gas tank symbol, there's an arrow.
Yes.
Or the gas tank symbol is on one side of the dial or the other. And that indicates where the gas goes into your car and which side.
where the cap is.
Where the cap is, so you can
Yeah,
drive
but
in.
it's surprising how few people know that.
Yeah.
I don't know why they don't teach you that in driving school.
Life hacks.
Maybe I didn't learn it in driving school because I'm so old.
Verena,
Like, cars didn't have
go
that back
with them
then.
on the vacation, not from the relationship. Go if you need a long vacation from
So, yeah, but it's a life hack right there. If you're in a shitty relationship, leave the relationship. Life hack.
Life hacks. Take a vacation.
Take a vacation from them. Take a vacation from the relation. Okay, so pocket knives.
Pocket knives is a life hack?
I think pocket knives is not a life hack. Pocket knives it's a way of life.
I hear you.
It's
You got to make that choice.
It's a choice.
You live and you die by the pocket knife. Oh, I needed a close-up
And
for that one.
Sorry. Here we go. Let's do it again. Here we go.
You either live or you die by the pocket knife.
Yeah, I think I like the last take. Do you want to do it again?
Okay.
I prefer the last take. Just take it down. Turn it down a bit.
Tone it down a bit?
Yeah.
You either love or you laugh by the pocket knife.
I was saying tone it down a bit, but yeah, okay. Pocket knives. I think pocket knives are kind of in that same realm with whiskey flasks.
It's a nice to have.
It's a thing to have.
It's a nice
I mean,
nice to have.
what kind of pocket knife do you want to have?
That's a whole nother
It's a
Isbaz.
whole thing.
Write that down.
What pocket knife to have?
He's
I mean,
bringing in all this stuff and
like,
it's already...
okay, Pavlov, I'm a huge pocket knife fan. I have a million pocket knives. And a lot of the time it's kind of cosmetic and it's kind of a hobby. I collect them and I hone them and...
Michael is a collector.
I have fixed cars stuck at the side of the road with pocket knives.
Yeah.
So when you got the right pocket knife...
A tool is a good thing to have, man. Pocket knives are great. We'll do a whole thing on
Maybe we
we'll
should
do a whole
thing
Isbaz segment on knives and daily tools.
So
Maybe
I
even daily
put in
carry.
here
Yeah.
favorite live acts, and autocorrect wrote favorite life hacks.
That's crazy. Life hacks, live acts. Sylvia, you're not alone. Apparently, autocorrect is right up your alley.
I think that was that Pavlov?
Donna coming in with the duct tape. Duct tape will fix it. Yeah, having duct tape around. It's all about those best practices, you know. Like those sayings that your grandma would say. You know, everything should have a place and everything should be in its place. That's a great life hack.
Yeah. You need a drawer in your kitchen or your house where you put all those bits of strings and the rubber bands that you bring home from grocery shopping, so that when you need bits of string and rubber bands, you have them.
Right. You got to have a junk drawer.
Junk drawer.
Did you have a junk drawer when you were a kid?
I have a junk drawer now.
I have a junk drawer now, but my junk drawer, unlike any other junk drawer I ever had, is completely organized. It's an organized junk drawer.
That's not the way to have a junk drawer. It's called a junk drawer.
Yeah.
Junk drawer.
Junk drawer.
I mean,
junk drawer.
You should
Junk
not,
drawer,
you
junk
should
drawer,
not
junk
be able
drawer.
to open it without stuff coming out. And when you close it, you have to force it back in. And you're never sure whether all the stuff that's in there isn't falling down the back.
I hear you. I mean, my junk drawer is still like that. There's a semblance of organization in my junk drawer.
Yeah. Jim is one of the most organized household people that I know.
What?
Way organized.
How am I so
Way
organized?
Like,
Just because I keep a neat house.
yeah, it's neat.
It's
neat
tidy.
and tidy, and
That's true.
it's like you can always eat off all the surfaces, whether they're eye level or foot level, and all this shit going on. So
That's true. You know what's funny is that I wonder if people out there are the same. Almost every time I would have a friend or somebody that would come to my house, nobody expects that.
what?
And it's been that way since I was young.
Expect what?
That my house is neat and tidy.
Oh, I see.
I think everybody always expects, maybe because of my outward personality, that they
be
think that it's
chaotic?
going to be chaotic and crap hanging around or filled with dead animal heads and I don't know. I don't know what they think, but almost
I was
every
with you
time.
until you said dead animal.
Well, I don't know what these people are saying, but almost every time people would come to be like, "Oh, it's really nice," and they're always surprised. Life hack. I would want every German train traveler to know the nearest exit entry to your seat is written next to the doors. Like, for example, Wagon 2, seats 11 to 64.
Is that a life hack?
I don't even know
That's
what
too complicated for a life hack.
I think I get it, though. I think I get it. I bet there's a thing that says, at least on the ICEs, that you know that your exit is going that way instead of going that way, and then I'm going that way instead of going that way. I hear you, Pablo.
So the life hack embedded in this is when you are in a mode of public transport, be it bus, train, airplane, anything, know where your nearest exit is.
Know your exits.
So know how to save your life in an emergency. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh my God.
Who's driving this thing over the precipice?
I have
Why are
no
the neighbors
idea.
watching us? We're not prepared for this. Get the pocket knife.
We're not prepared for any of it. Michael, we've got 1 minute left in this show.
Okay.
And I think we should use it to say goodnight to everybody. We didn't get all through the life hacks. Maybe we'll put that on as another segment for the next Is Baz. It should be about something. Will be with us all next week.
So actually, let's talk about this. So we're doing it next week.
Yeah.
And then when we open with the live show on streaming, the streaming live show, there's probably going to be no Isbaz.
It's going to be the first time for no Isbaz since we started. But let's just pretend. Can we stream the English Lovers show through our Isbaz channel?
I don't think so.
Okay, forget
No,
it.
we can't.
No, of course we can't. There's going to be no Isbaz while English Lovers are
No,
happening.
we can't.
But we can do a special Isbaz maybe.
But yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. So maybe we can do like a late night Isbaz from
After the show.
After the show.
From the theater.
From the theater.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. It's an exclusive. Nobody knew it could happen. We still don't, but cheers. Isbaz happening all the way through.
It can definitely happen. We could do
Great.
an Isbaz with whoever wants to hang around after the show, kind of thing.
Love it. I love it. Maybe we'll get some of the other lovers in on Isbaz.
Yeah.
Some of your favorites like Dennis and Kathy who've already been guests. That would be great. Anne has also been a guest.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get all kinds of people on there. Then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very, very much for joining us. I'm Jim Libby.
I'm Michael Smolik.
This has been It Should Be About Something.
And it's been fantastic.
Thank you all so very much for joining us.
This has been the best Isbaz so far.
You know what? I was just thinking that.
It's like the best ones we've ever done.
This has been the best one.
Yeah.
This is best
Cheers.
Isbaz ever, everybody. Good work.
Drinking to
Good
that.
hustle out there.
Always make sure there's booze in the house.
We'll see you next time. Thank you all very much.
We're going to
Stay
take you
safe.
out with a little bit of music.
Yeah, be healthy.
From Mr. Belush Kareni. You guys, thank
Love
you.
it.
You're awesome. We love you. We'll
Look,
see you next
the
week.
Unexplained, it's a vampire. Oh.